Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Framework of Tomorrow. I am your host, Keegan Goldfarb, and today is episode 21. I cannot believe we're already at episode 21. And today, I'm going to be talking about the best, in my opinion, sandwich place ever and the history behind it. I should say subs place ever and the history behind it. But before I reveal to you, I'm going to leave you in a cliffhanger. I want to talk about my sponsor here, not only in the show, but in the network as well. If you are pursuing a higher education or want insight on life as a nurse, go check out Ashley Luann K at The Minnesota Nurse on Instagram. It's The Minnesota Nurse on Instagram. You should find her and follow her, like some of her pictures, maybe comment a little bit, because not only does that help her out, that also helps me and the network out. By the way, the network I am in is rallynetwork.net. You can go check us out. We're a fantastic network of podcasters that are looking to, provoke conversation in the community. And my way of doing that is history. So today, this is what I'm talking about. The best, in my opinion, subs place ever. What is that? Of course, it is Jersey Mike's Subs. Now, I'm sure most of you who have had Jersey Mike's subs are like, oh my gosh, he is so right. They are the best people. If you haven't had it, you need to go check it out. And if you've had it and you're like, yeah, they're really not that good. I do not know where you come from. You're crazy. They're amazing. I'm just kidding. I might be a little biased because I do like it. If you don't like it, it's not for you. It's my opinion that they're the best. Doesn't mean it's true. Anyway, so here is what Jersey Mike's Subs. So it wasn't always called Jersey Mike's Subs. It wasn't always what it was called. So imagine for me for a second. You're in the 50s, 1956, exactly. You are on Point Pleasant, New Jersey. And you're walking along the street, and this guy's nailing a little poster to it, or not poster, but a sign that says open to his new shop. And you're like, oh, what do you got there? Huh? What are you opening? And this guy named Mike turns around and he's like, oh, hi, this is my new sandwich place. And they're like, oh, what are you offering? What's it called? He's like, well, it's called Mike's Subs. And we have a sandwich called a Submarine Sandwich, which is where the word subs comes from, of course. But, so you're like, huh, that sounds really good. Can I try your sandwich? And you walk inside, and they're like, sure, yeah, what can I get for you? And they make this giant sandwich for you that is fantastic. You eat it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta tell all my friends. So you do, and they come in, everyone gets sandwiches, they're amazing. I'll read a little something for you. To survive and thrive, they had to offer exceptional quality products. Like I said, I can never say word. Coupled with unparalleled service. So in 1956, Mike was unique in that the product he was offering was relatively new item in American society, the Submarine Sandwich. Like I said before, they want to use quality products, and they also want to have good service behind that. You know what that sounds like? Kind of like Chick-fil-A. I always call Jersey Mike's, right now we're talking about Mike's Subs, which is what it was originally called. I always say Jersey Mike's is the Chick-fil-A sandwich, I guess, because they're just as good as Chick-fil-A when it comes to their product as well as their service. They're extremely, extremely nice. All right, so anyway, where it started. Like I said, it was Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Mike's Subs served everyone from the locals to the tourists, and everyone who came in here loved the Submarine Sandwich. And one of the things that Jersey Mike's Mike's Subs, what they were based off of, and what they really like to do is if you're a local or even a tourist, I guess if they recognize you that way, they really like to memorize who you are and like what you want for your sandwich. So even today, they do this as well. I can go into my local Jersey Mike's, and I go there a lot, so they know who I am. They're like, "Oh, hey Keegan, do you want the It's number 13, which is the Italian sub. I love it so much. You should try it. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you want it Mike's way? And I'm like, yes, please. It's amazing. And they do it so fast. They still do that today. That's what they're based off of. And that's kind of what they strive to do, because they want to be unparalleled service. They want to be different than everyone else. And they are, because they're so good. The big thing that, yeah, like I just said, I would say 8 times out of 10, they will already know what I want. I mean, sometimes it's a new guy or it doesn't click with them right away, but they will literally, it'll be in the middle of a lunch rush, and they will make this thing 2 minutes flat, and I'll be at the register, and they're like, do you want chips and drink with that? I'll be like, yes, take all my money because you're amazing. I'm just kidding. But 8 times out of 10, it'll be like that. Of course, I just recently went to another Jersey Mike's, and that isn't my local one, and they were like brand new. So I gave them a little grace, because they were all brand new. They didn't really know what they were doing. They were a little slow, and they didn't really know what was going on. But like I said, this was literally brand new. The training probably could have been a little better, but they were trying as hard as they could, and they were still very, very nice about it. So I gave them a little grace for it. Anyway, back to the past of Jersey Mike's, or Mike Subs, as it was called. In 1971, a Mike Subs was still continuing to be successful, and there was this kid that was he started working at Jersey Mike's, or Mike Subs. Oh my gosh, I keep saying that. He was 14 when he started working at Mike Subs. And by the time he was 17, he loved his job. He loved working there. It was his favorite thing to do. And at the age of 17, the young age of 17, he became interested in owning the company, because Mike was selling it. I don't know the reason behind that, but he was selling it. And this kid, his name was Peter Cancro, who is still the owner of Jersey Mike's. So I kind of just revealed that to you. Mike did sell it to Peter Cancro, and Peter, at 17, his coach was also a banker, and he helped him get a loan, because he went up to his coach and he's like, Coach, I need help. I want to buy Mike Subs. And his coach he agreed. He went out on it, and Peter Cancro bought out Mike Subs, and then continued. He actually opened up a couple more in the area. So then there was multiple Mike Subs. So then fast forward a little bit. So that was 1971. Peter began franchising, because he had people coming in all across the country, and they're like, Peter, we really like what you're doing. We love your sandwiches. And people would actually take, if they lived in so this is in New Jersey. So if they lived in Maryland, 3 hours away, they would come up and then get 10 sandwiches in order to stock up on them. They would do that. And Mike was like, or not Mike, Peter was like, this would probably be a cool idea to, reach out across the country, because people obviously like it. So that's exactly what he decided to do. He ended up in 1987, he began franchising and renamed the business what it is now, Jersey Mike's Subs, to keep the authenticity of where the business was born, which is very smart, and I love that. Of course, I just call it Jersey Mike's, but it is Jersey Mike's Subs. And he named it that, like I said, to keep the authenticity of where it was. And so Peter, even today, is overseeing a lot of locations. The random history fact is actually how many locations that is. Oops. I'm not going to tell you that right now. But he's overseeing a lot of locations, and that are all open or continuing to be under development. Despite the title of being the CEO, Peter still jumps behind the counter to test his skills and demonstrate his passion for the product and the customer. He tries to instill that passion in every store he enters and with every franchise he meets. Everything they have at Jersey Mike's Subs is made right in front of you, like I said, down to the slicing of the bread, the cheese, and the meat. They have a whole big slab of meat that they'll cut right in front of you with their slicing machine. It's kind of cool. And they still very much pride themselves, like I said, with their customer service and getting to know the customer. They, like I said earlier, I will walk in lunchtime during work. It'll be the lunch rush, and I'll walk up to the counter after staying in the line for a little bit, and they'll be like, "Oh, you want the 13? You're normal?" And I'm like, "Yes." That's so cool. You already know what I want. And sometimes it's even a different person. It's crazy. I don't know if they catch on to it or what that is, but they still very much pride themselves on that, which is very cool. What are they doing? Here's a new segment for the show. I want to make a new segment because I do want to talk about everything I talk about. I want to have more of like talking about the future of the companies. So this is the new I guess segment I wanted to do. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. The new segment is what are they doing for the future, or what is the topic? Where is it going for the future? So that's the new thing I want to introduce right after I'm done talking about the main thing. So what is Jersey Mike's doing for the future? They're continuing to grow across the country and expand, as well as participating in many different things throughout their community, such as fundraisers and charities. One of their big things they do is Toys for Tots, which is really, really cool. One of the radio station I work at does that as well. It's a really, really cool fundraiser, and it's just cool that they can be involved in their community and continue to strive to make their quality subs and be in their customer service as well. They continue, like I said, to have those good products and ingredients, and it's just so real to eat their sub. Like, it doesn't feel like you're eating something fake. It's not like, I'm not gonna hate on McDonald's, but I mean, it's like real stuff. You know what I mean? So yes. So then the random history fact of the day, as always at the end of my episodes, there are over 2,000 Jersey Mike subs across the country today. That is a lot. It's crazy how in 64 years since they opened. So it's 2020, 64 years. Wait, that's wrong. Hold up. 64 years. I'm right. 64 years since they opened. That there's over 2,000 of them already. That's absolutely ridiculous, but really, really cool. If you have not checked out, I promise you, I'm not being paid by Jersey Mike's to say this. They are genuinely amazing. And you can actually go over to BRCM Daily, and he would say the same thing, because I work with him outside of the network and podcasting, as well with a couple other. We do some painting and stuff, and we go there for lunch, and it's just so good, so good. Check me out at the Framework of Tomorrow on Instagram, and if you have any thoughts or questions for me, you can send it over and DM me on my Instagram, or send me questions at theframeworkoftomorrow@gmail.com. Please, 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 please make sure to go on iTunes if you're listening on iTunes, or if you're not, go over to iTunes and rate me on iTunes. Please, I mean, it can be anything. You can rate me 1 star if you hated it, 5 stars if you loved it, and that really helps me out be seen by iTunes, which is really good, and I would love that. So please go and do that. And I will shout you out at the beginning of my episode, unless you state that you don't want to be. I upload every Monday and Wednesday at 5 a.m. And make sure to have a fantastic rest of your day and week. And make sure to check out my next episode next Monday. And sorry, I totally just messed up that outro. Make sure to tune in next week for another fantastic episode of The Framework of Tomorrow.